Hello, everyone! Welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 355. Andrew here. Merry Christmas Eve to all y'all. Let me dust the top of my camera with my fingers, because I missed a spot, apparently. Since we're talking about Christmas, we weren't, but we are now. You can't really see... Well, let's go for a ride. Everyone's favorite part is when I move the camera. Alright, you see the blanket over there? Under that blanket are a bunch of Christmas presents that my sister sent me. 6 in total. No idea what they are. They're under a blanket because I think at least one of them, per my sister, probably says on the outside of the box what it is. When it landed on my porch, I opened my door and I felt around for it and I picked it up and I brought it in the house and I threw a blanket over it. So all my sister's presents are under that blanket over there. I point this out not to brag. I point this out because my sister got me 6 presents and got them all here before Christmas with like a week to spare. They didn't all arrive at the same time. It arrived piecemeal. The last one, I think, arrived like Monday or Tuesday or something like that. I bought my sister some presents. Not sure how many. 6 sounds about right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, about that. Some of it's just garbage. You know, I was getting her fun little gifts, and I kept adding to the box until I qualified for free shipping. She did actually get one of them today. But yesterday, it's not like I just bought them. I don't procrastinate. I mean, I don't buy gifts until we hit December, but it's not like I tried ordering stuff on the 22nd. One of the gifts I bought her, I got an email from Amazon, and they said, "Hey, man, we just wanted to write and tell you that your gift has shipped." And this was 2 days ago. "And your gift, which again has just shipped, so it's on its way to Kelly, it'll be there sometime between January 4th and January 17th. Eh? Are you... Where is it shipping from? Are you walking it to St. Louis? Is that why it's not going to be there for a week and a half, and you're giving yourself an extra week and a half Same problem every year. My sister and I, if you're familiar with my channel, we film our gift exchange and post it online. For some reason, a lot of you seem to enjoy the Eisen sibling gift exchange videos. And we'll do that, but we keep getting stymied by my presents not getting to her until sometime in the middle of January, which actually isn't as bad as the gift that she got me for my birthday last year. My birthday's February 1st. She bought me Rain Code, that detective game for the Switch. Well, she bought me a pre-order for it. At the time she bought it, it was coming out like a month and a half or something after my birthday. And then it got delayed until very late spring or early summer, like sometime in June or July maybe, so... yeah, that one took a while to get here. But, well, got my presents. But, they're going to sit there under the blanket, until, until she gets all her presents. But luckily, she will be getting a present that starts out as an email and that's scheduled to be delivered on the 25th. So hopefully she'll be able to get stuff on the 25th, and it's always nice to get someone a present that requires them to do stuff, because I don't think she watches the podcast, so I'm not going to say what it is, but she'll get an email, and she'll have to do something herself to actually get the present. Which is nice, because it gives her time to actually go get the present so she can show it off on the eventual video that we make. Cafe Fox says, sometimes packages during the holiday get sent to the moon as a temporary redirect. Seems so. It's just, I mean, I understand, the holidays are incredibly busy. There's probably a ton of parcelage going through the mail system. But it's just kind of weird that it's like, we've shipped it, and it'll be there in 3 weeks. And it's like, I'm very curious of what this package's journey is going to be then. I mean, if it's shipped, you would think it would be to wherever it is going in this continent within a couple of days. But apparently not. I don't know. Maybe they're expecting a snowstorm, and it's like, okay, we're gonna ship it to this facility where it's going to sit until the snow melts, and then we'll take it to your sister. Maybe that's what's going on. Dunno. So, I was, as many of you know, I'm, well, since we're talking about Christmas, let me move my topics around a little bit. We'll leave that for the end. Blue Eye Samurai is not very Christmassy. Captain Fox says, what's really weird is when it takes over a week for packages to go one state over. Yeah, it's like, what was I purchasing? It was for the charity event. I think it was Nayuta. I originally pre-ordered it from Amazon, and it wasn't. I think its release date was on like. Or was it Mario Wonder? I don't remember which one it was, but whatever date the game came out, it wasn't expected to be delivered until 2 weeks later. I'm like, well, what's the point of pre-ordering it if I'm not going to get it that day? Are you shipping it from a different country? What are you doing? I mean, so I ended up just going to Best Buy and getting it, Or actually, I think I just ordered it online from Best Buy, but and they drove it to me. So anyway, speaking of Christmas, I've been talking about, for some reason I have, decided that I'm only watching Christmas movies this month. And then I thought, well, I could watch holiday movies. Are there any Hanukkah movies? I mean, not sappy, boring Lifetime movies. There's a million of those. I actually don't know if there are any Hanukkah-themed versions of that, and I don't care because I don't want to watch them. But I was like, there's a bunch of Christmas horror movies. There's got to be some Hanukkah slasher films, right? Yeah, there's one that I could find after very little searching. It's called Hanukkah. They didn't aim high for the title. Apparently came out about 5 years ago, and it's not on any of the streaming services I subscribe to, so that makes me sad. But I did catch some Christmas stuff this week, and I shall tell you about it now. First thing I watched was The Nutcracker and the Four Realms, a film which came out about the same time as Hanukkah did, I guess, 5 years ago or something, 2018, somewhere on there. You may remember that you probably saw a trailer for this. You probably don't remember it, but if you saw the trailer, you'd be like, oh yeah, that. So it's The Nutcracker combined with the Chronicles of Narnia. Like, they're like, okay, let's do The Nutcracker, but it's like high fantasy, like Lord of the Rings kind of a thing. Because if you've ever seen The Nutcracker Suite, the ballet anyway, generally, you've got your little girl who just drank too much eggnog, and she has a dream where the the, the mice and the tin soldiers are having a war in her living room. I think it depends on which performance you're seeing, but this is generally what it is. But so for this movie, what they're saying, it's like, okay, we're gonna do the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe kind of thing here, where she goes through the secret room and she ends up in Narnia, where the four realms are, which is the mouse realm, the candy realm, where the sugar plums are, right? The flower realm and the ice realm, and they've been at war, and she's the daughter of the queen who went missing, so she has to take her rightful place and reunite the three remaining kingdoms to fight against the fourth kingdom, and blah blah blah. It's this huge fantasy epic, and it's like, why are you doing that? But I went into this movie kind of expecting it to be a 3-hour movie, at least 2.5 hours at the very minimum, because it looks like they're trying to do Chronicles of Narnia or Lord of the Rings or some later Harry Potter ones that are all busting over 2.5 hours. And no, it's an hour 40. I heard a noise that went, I'm like, what the hell is that? No, this scooping lilt. I don't know if that was a person or what. And that was a lilt in the other way. I have no idea if someone's making funny noises at a young child. I don't know. Some adult humans can't resist making weird noises at small children. They get up into their upper register and speak gibberish. And the babies and stuff, they all giggle and laugh at you. Like, what is with this adult? Ha ha ha. Anyway. So Nutcracker in the Four Realms. I appreciate that it's an hour and 40 minutes. I didn't really want to watch a 3-hour version of this. It does, however, feel like it's supposed to be 3 hours. The movie feels like it's speed running itself, if you take my meaning. Nice cast. It's Morgan Freeman's in it. Helen Mirren's in it. Keira Knightley is in it as the Sugar Plum Fairy, and she's hilarious. I think the gal who plays Claire, I think that's, what's her name, Mackenzie Foy or something. I think that's the kid who played the magical baby in Twilight. I think that's the same kid. I can't say for sure because I never saw any of those movies. And I didn't see them because they looked bad. I saw the trailers and I went, nope, I have a feeling I ain't going to enjoy those. Didn't read the source material. But if you must know, Team Edward. Nothing against Taylor something. I'm sure he's a swell dude, but team. I've got the right names, right? Edward and Jacob. I think that's right. Yeah. So Team Edward, whatever. Anyway, what were we talking about? Nutcracker on Four Realms. So, this movie is bad. It's not a very good movie. I am very distracted by the weird noises coming from outside. Although I'll take weird noises over, like, I don't know, gunshots and screams and stuff, just people being silly. So the movie's not very good. It has some deficiencies in its narrative. And that's a shame. I didn't find it too surprising once the credits started rolling and I saw that there were two completely different directors. I'm like, yeah, I don't think this is one of those Russo brothers or Phil Lord and whoever he partners with. I don't think it was a team of directors. That feels like there was one director and then the producers decided this wasn't what they want and they hired a different director to finish it. Kind of like what happened. Oh, speaking of Phil Lord and whoever he works with, they originally did a Star Wars story and then they got fired and they got removed from the project and replaced with Ron Howard. And watching Solo, a Star Wars story, which is watchable, it's clear that this was a movie that was reworked in the middle of production. As it goes with Star Wars and Nutcracker and the Four Realms. This is clearly a movie that was going in some different direction at some point and then changed gears. And hey, making movies hard, stuff like that happens. But the movie does have an advantage. It has the Tchaikovsky music, which I like, and it doesn't just grab the Tchaikovsky score and plop it into the film and call it a day. They actually take great care in which movements are used for which scenes, which is nice. What did I just see that really used a thing? Castlevania. I finally got around to watching Castlevania Nocturne. Lindy, Merry Christmas. And I was impressed that they didn't go full bore with the... I don't know the name of the... da 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 da. Yeah, I think it's probably just Trevor's theme or something like that, but it's Blood something. All the songs are called Blood something, but anyway, it's not until episode 6 of 8 until they go full blast with that theme. They know how to use a theme right. Unlike the RoboCop remake, which uses the da 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 before we've even been introduced to Alex Murphy. It's like, no, that is not how you music. Anyway, so they use the Tchaikovsky music very well. They also don't just plop it in the film. They rearrange it into a film score. Now there are some parts that are just straight from the ballad. That's straight in there, but a lot of times they'll be using a lot of the themes and motifs from the different movements and rearranging them into something that's more identifiable as a filmic score. And it's really well done. I mean, I'm not giving you that many kudos. That's music you didn't write. You just arranged it. So you get half a point. Not a full point, but half. Blood Symphony? Yeah, it's something like that. It's been used in hell, I think that theme is... I think that theme is used in the eye catch, the attract mode in... which one was on the N64? I think it's just Castlevania 64. Yeah. Anyway, I enjoyed Nocturne. Hope we get more, because I think I looked it up, and I think they confirmed a second season. Same with Blue Eye Samurai, which I'll talk about in a bit. So another thing the Nutcracker has going for it. Have they made a horror movie about a Nutcracker who goes around doing exactly what his name would imply he does? Someone must have done that at some point, right? A slasher movie with a Nutcracker that goes around cracking people's nuts. Nom nom. This would be hilarious. All these dudes with their high-pitched scream. Ah! Get it off! Season 2 confirmed. Can't wait. Oh, awesome, yeah. Yeah, because that ends in a place where you're like, oh! Is this the last episode? Crap, this is the last episode. No, you can't stop here. Darn you! So another thing the Nutcracker does quite nicely is its production design. Gorgeous film. I love it. It's very. It looks fake, but in the sense that like there's this full flyover of London. It's obviously completely computer generated. It doesn't really look that good, and there's an artifice to it which I don't mind because to me it was kind of reminiscent of watching the ballet. I'm sure there are people like this, but I've never heard anyone watch a ballet like, the Nutcracker and go, the sets looked fake. Yeah, it's a backdrop. It's a scrim. What do you want? So for me, the not great special effects, the artifice of the unreality of the effects, kind of felt like a stage play to me. So it didn't bother me much. But I really love the design, the costuming, the character. I found it a visual treat. I adored it. And even though I still say that the movie itself is not very good, I was so tickled pink with the music that I've already like, and just really fun production design that honestly I enjoyed the whole thing. Probably would not have a very different opinion if it were actually 3 hours long, but since it's an hour 40, I'm like, yeah, I like this. Sometimes I'm easy. Like, is the movie good? No, but it's pretty. Is that enough for you? Sometimes, yeah. I like horror movies, so clearly, plot is not always necessary. Is it a good movie? No, but people get eviscerated real good, so, and, body parts and viscera go flying all over the place in awesome ways, so, it's a good movie in that regard. Let's see, what else do I want to say about this? It's funny, there's a sequence that I think is actually quite brilliant. As they start off Act 2, Clara... What's interesting, the conceit about the movie, it seems to be kind of a sequel to The Nutcracker, but not. Because, if I'm remembering right, the kid in The Nutcracker is Clara, but this is like her daughter, but her name's also Clara. And so, it's like the bad eggnog-inspired dream that she has was real. Like, she found Narnia, and now her kid has to go to Narnia and solve... this movie is really heavily cribbing from Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It kind of weird. But anyway, so she goes to the Four Realms, and they're like, oh, let us exposit what's been going on for the centuries since your mom, the queen, was here, because time runs differently, you see. Which, yeah, that's exactly how it works in Narnia, too, so... We have original ideas! Well, we didn't steal the music from Chronicles of Narnia. It's like, no, you got it from Tchaikovsky's. So, the way they do exposition is they do it in the form of a ballet. And I'm like, that's brilliant. And so they do this whole staged production, this whole staged ballet where they're explaining the Four Realms and that they're at war. And I'm like, that's brilliant, except the movie doesn't trust the audience to understand interpretive dance. It doesn't trust the audience to interpret interpretive dance, because Keira Knightley, the Sugar Plum Fairy, keeps leaning over to Claire and she goes, that's the Mouse King! It's like, the guy in the mouse costume with the ears and the tail. Yeah, I got that, thank you. Those guys in blue are from the Ice Kingdom! You don't say. They're warring with each... Yeah, they're punching each... I get it! Jesus! That sounds like a production note. It's like, oh, audiences are stupid. They're not going to get ballet. They're not going to understand. Have Keira Knightley lean over and explain the ballet like a really annoying theater goer. Normally that would annoy me, but I just found it kind of funny. But one thing I did really enjoy is pretty sure I've never actually been to a ballet, but I've seen several of them, recordings of them on television. Um, Typically, the ones I've seen, like I've seen several performances of the Nutcracker, for example. Um, Typically, if you watch a ballet, almost any stage production, it's usually like a three camera setup that they put them in, like middle of the eighth row and on either side, just to and they just cut back and forth. What's interesting about watching the ballet in the movie, the Nutcracker in the Four Realms, is they really took advantage of, they could put the camera anywhere. So we got the camera close up and spinning around the dancers. They put it up high, do a full bird's eye view of watching the dancers pirouette all over the place. And my favorite was close-ups, and Tarantino's favorite too, close-ups of the dancers' feet. Because I don't know if you know this, but in ballet, feet are really important. So it was really fascinating because I'm like, wow, I've never really experienced a ballet and been able to really get a good look at what these dancers are doing with their tootsies. And it's incredible. It looks painful, probably unhealthy, probably shouldn't do that, but it is genuinely incredible. So it was a perspective on ballet that I'd never actually seen before. Now, if only Keira Knightley would shut the hell up and let me watch. I actually would have loved them to do the entire movie like that, but I'm weird. So, all in all, the Nutcracker in the Four Realms, definitely not for everyone. Also not a good movie. But if you love the Tchaikovsky score for the Nutcracker, and or you love just really fanciful and creative production design and costuming, just bright and colorful and ostentatious. If you enjoy that crap, like I do, you might find a lot of enjoyment in a Nutcracker in the Four Realms. I dug it, even though I honestly don't think it's a very good movie. The way they do the Mouse King is actually really interesting because it's just a mouse, but he's basically Mouse Voltron because all the mice come together to form a mouse gestalt giant mouse that chases our heroes through the woods. It's really, again, not the greatest effect in the world, but I'm like, okay, that's hilarious. It's really funny. I like it. So, Cafe Fox says, I'm going to go see A Christmas Carol tomorrow. Ooh, are you going to go see like a stage production of A Christmas Carol? I want... what's the best version of A Christmas Carol? I like in The Real Ghostbusters, the cartoon from late 80s. The Ghostbusters, they accidentally bust the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. So, which kind of screws over a modern day Scrooge. So the Ghostbusters have to pretend to be the ghosts and use modern technology to... I think they actually travel back in time to like 19th century London or something. So someone has to go back to the present and go back to the containment unit and go find the damn ghosts and get them back out so that they can haunt Ebenezer and give him a change of heart. That's funny. Lindy says, for me it's the Muppets Christmas Carol. That was, is that Michael Caine? I think it is really good. Scrooged is pretty funny, the Bill Murray movie. Hey, Jared, speaking of films, I watched the Godzilla movie and give it a thumbs up. The Godzilla -1, I really would like... What's funny is I love Godzilla. I don't like any... I like almost none of the Godzilla movies. It's so weird. I love giant monsters, and I particularly love Godzilla. I love him way more than that loser King Kong. But if you, how many Godzilla movies have I seen? At least 10 of them. And the only one I really like is the first one. The one from like 1954. The rest of them are just really not very good. Some of them are watchable. Like the one from like 1984, somewhere around there is okay. Even the Roland Emmerich one is okay. It's not Godzilla, but it's a giant monster, whatever. The one from 2014 is okay. King of Monsters actively annoyed me. Godzilla vs. Kong was okay. I don't know what, but I'd really like to see. I'd like to see Shin Godzilla. That looks cool. And I'd like to see -1, which just came out. Unfortunately, not playing the theater near me, so I didn't get to go see it, which bums me out because I actually wanted to see it. What's funny is, as I said, I love Godzilla, but I generally don't enjoy his movies. I'm not a fan of King Kong, but I actually like most of his movies. Like the one from, what was it, 1933 or something like that? Super good. The original King Kong, super good. Even the sequel, Son of Kong, quite good. It's a surprisingly good follow-up. Mighty Joe Young is not King Kong, but, you know, it was also of the time and kind of that idea. Also good. Incredible effects for that era too. But the one that they did in the 70s, King Kong Lives, I think that one, was pretty good. The one Peter Jackson did in like 2004 or something like that was pretty good. Kong Skull Island I thought was pretty good. It's weird. I don't really care about King Kong, but I think he's much better at movies than Godzilla is. Don't know what it is. The Godzilla -0 is about a kamikaze pilot. Is he a failed kamikaze pilot? Because that's not a long-term career. I've been doing this shit for 40 years. It's like I just keep missing. It's like, it's a kaiju. How do you miss a kaiju? You call yourself I'm a failed kamikaze pilot. I keep aiming at Godzilla's head and I keep missing. I'm very bad at this. Anyway, yeah, Godzilla -1. Oh, there's also there's a show, Godzilla show on, I think it's on Apple TV, which I don't have. Never watched any of the Godzilla cartoons either. But the point is, the Nutcracker and the Four Realms I quite enjoyed watching. So, this is not a movie, but I watched another Christmassy thing this week called The Christmas Toy. Now, not a film. This is a Jim Henson special that premiered on, like, I don't know, ABC or something back in 1986, 87, somewhere around there. I don't know if I saw it premiere or if I saw, like, a rerun the following Christmas, but I do remember I was very young and I saw it on TV because I remember the commercial breaks. And my sister actually brought this movie up on Monthly Movie Mini Reviews like a year ago. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Because I hadn't thought about it in well over 30 years. And I thought, you know, I haven't seen that in over 35 years, so I should watch it again, see if I remember it. And it happens to be on Amazon Prime right now, so I watched it. And what I found interesting is I remembered more of the emotions and feelings that I had when I originally watched it than I did the specifics of the characters or plot. Basically, the film, or the Christmas special, it's Toy Story. It's, you know, when you're not in the room, toys are alive and hanging out with each other. But this one is a lot darker than Toy Story. Pardon me. Because in Toy Story, The conceit is, you know how toys are just never where you left them? Like they get up and move on their own? Aha, they actually do, tee-hee, right? There's no hard and fast rule. You don't have to pretend to be a toy when humans are watching. In fact, in the first movie, they terrorize Sid, right? Of course, I think he murdered Combat Carl. I don't think Combat Carl survived Toy Story. Maybe there's like a torso of a doll in the background of a later scene. It's like, that's Carl over there. I don't know. But, but in the Christmas toy, if a toy is caught out of place, it dies. Yeah. And they show this too, because there's this little clown doll that gets caught out of place and dies. And they have a full funeral for this guy. They like lay him on the back of a truck bed. There's like a truck toy, so they lay him on the back of the truck toy and slowly drive him off. Like he's on a stretcher on the back. And it's like, oh my god. But then they take him over to the pile of toy corpses. There's a pile of dead toys in the corner of the playroom. These are all the other toys that got caught out of place and died. And this pile of dead toys is in the foreground of almost every shot in the when the camera cuts back to the playroom. It's the weirdest thing. Now, the plot of this special is last year, little Susie got a stuffed tiger toy named Ramby or Rugby or something, and that's her favorite toy, like Woody in Toy Story. And so this tiger plush is, he's king shit, and he's happy to be the favorite toy. And he learns about Christmas, and he's like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the living room, two-story house, so go out the room, down the hall, down the stairs, into the living room, and I'm going to get in the box so that little Susie opens up and finds me again, so I'll be the Christmas toy again. Skipping forward a little bit, he has to actually remove the doll that's already in the box, which is essentially Buzz Lightyear. It's some alien warlord lady who's like, haha, I am the queen of the cosmos, who thinks she doesn't realize she is a Toy Story totally ripped this damn thing off. Cafe Fox says, how does one toy get caught out of place? They don't even have to be caught moving. They have to be caught. If a human finds them out of so the doll was left by the dollhouse and decided to walk out into the hallway, and the humans come out, and it's not like, oh my god, I saw a doll moving. It's like, oh, kids, put your toys away. So they pick up the doll and take it back into the room and put it in its place. That's what it's mean by caught out of place. So the toys don't have to be caught being animate, being alive. They just have to be caught somewhere where they weren't left. So if they're caught somewhere, if a human sees them in a place they didn't leave them, that kills the toy. If that makes sense. So the tiger and his buddy the cat toy, which is a little mouse, a little catnip mouse, they go on an adventure out into the living room to go down to where the Christmas presents are. Well, I think like 4 of the other toys go on a rescue mission. Yeah, there's the kind of a Raggedy Ann doll. There's a big stuffed rocking horse, a little car toy, and a robot. And so the stakes here, like if Woody and Buzz in Toy Story can't get home before the move, they get left behind. They're gonna have to find a new residence, I guess. But if all these toys don't but if our four heroes don't get the tiger and the cat toy back upstairs and into the bedroom where they belong before the kids come out because they're excited and want to see the presents, or the parents come out because they got to go let the cat in or something like that, all those toys are going to die. Them some really high stakes. There's a scene in this, and it's only a 50-minute television special, but there's a scene where the mouse toy, the catnip toy, which is a small mouse, is caught in the middle of the hallway. Like, the human hasn't caught them, but the human, like, opens the door, but is, like, turned around and talking to his wife. And the mouse is just, like, just petrified, just scared stiff, can't move, can't run, is just like, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. It is extraordinarily tense, and I remembered, not that scene specifically, but I remembered the tension of that scene. Because if this human turns around and sees this cat toy on the floor, our little mousy toy friend here is dead. That's high stakes for a children's puppet Christmas show on network television. So is the show any good? No, not really. No, it's okay. It's definitely interesting. But the characters aren't particularly the character design isn't particularly notable. The characters and how they interact with each other is not particularly interesting. The story was actually novel at the time, because again, this predates Toy Story by nearly a decade. And the songs are not memorable at all. Like, I remember I watched Slipper and the Rose a year or two ago, and this was the first time I'd seen it in like 30 years. But even so, I remembered the songs. And I was able to, like, at least hum along with parts of it. You must be in da 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 do 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 do. I'm like, oh my god, I remember this. How do I remember all this? But with the Christmas toy, yeah, I didn't even remember it was a musical, let alone remember any of the songs or the melodies. I'm like, nah, it's not very memorable. But I don't normally rewatch stuff, but it was interesting to see, to revisit something I hadn't seen since I was like maybe 7 or 8 years old. And man, you thought the climax of Toy Story 3 gets unsurprisingly dark, where they're caught in the garbage incinerator and they all realize that they can't get out, and they just give up and quietly sit there and hold hands as they accept their fate. It's like, oh shit, this is dark. I mean, they survive anyway, but yeah, that feeling, that's this entire special. Because as goofy as some of it is, if these kids come out of the room to go, oh, let's see if Santa brought us toys, or if someone comes out to get a glass of water, or if someone goes downstairs to let the cat back in, or they I think the Buzz Lightyear stand-in, Queen Valeria or whatever the hell her name is, she knocks over something because she's swinging her sword at something. It's like, oh my god, what was that? And the father comes out of the bedroom, and the cat toy goes, meow. He goes, oh, it's just a stupid cat. I'm going back to bed. It's like, oh. And that's silly and it's funny, but if it didn't work, they'd all be dead. It's surprisingly high stakes for a children's puppet Christmas special on network TV. Hello, Chaos. So, if you want to check it out, it's only 50 minutes. It's on Amazon Prime, so if you have that, you can find it. Let's see. Lindy says, but everything turned out okay thanks to music. Music brought everyone back to life. That's the ending of not Toy Story, a Christmas Toy. Because the mouse toy dies, and and the tiger's like, I didn't realize you were my best friend, my only friend. Can you feel the love tonight? And he wakes up. It's not that song, obviously, but it's like, I was in this dark, cold place where I couldn't move. And it's like, oh God, they're semi-conscious conscious and stuck in limbo or something. So they managed to all go back upstairs, and apparently, I don't know if it's that specific song or if you just have to grieve. But yeah, everything comes back to life. So they can't do a sequel because there are no stakes anymore. If anyone gets caught, they just sing at them and they'll be fine. But yeah, no, I mean the thing's almost 40, coming up on 40 years old at some point. So well, probably closer to 35. I think it was late 80s. So. I think we're beyond spoiler. I think we've passed the statute of limitation on spoilers for a Christmas toy. But yeah, but still, for the target audience, that is surprisingly high stakes. But it's interesting because it's kind of the same feeling of watching something like Dark Crystal or Labyrinth, puppet movies and for younger audiences, but there's definitely a darkness to both of those films. And Christmas Toy is the same way. For what it's worth, I've mentioned this before. I adore both Labyrinth and Dark Crystal, but I'm a Dark Crystal kid. I hold Dark Crystal higher than Labyrinth. And the Dark Crystal Netflix show that they did a couple of years ago, it was really good. It's a big old bummer that they didn't do any more, but also not terribly surprising. No matter how, I have no idea what the viewership for it was, but even if it was great, they probably wouldn't have done another season, because that must be extraordinarily time-consuming and expensive to do. So, anyway, last topic I'd like to talk about is not Christmassy, but there's a Netflix show called Blue Eye Samurai. And I wasn't terribly interested. Like, I watched the trailer and I was like, yeah, okay, maybe if we get around to it. But I had heard a bunch of people in passing saying, like, oh my God, it's super good. It's like the best thing on TV now. It's like the next Arcane, which was that really shockingly good League of Legends animated show from like 2 years ago. Cafe Fox says, wow, the doll in that looks very Chucky-ish. Let me see if I still have the poster here. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so here's the show poster for it. Yeah, I didn't think of that till now, but yeah, the doll, she does look a little bit like Chucky. But yeah, that's the show poster. This is the cat, and this is just one of the doll who goes after him. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, Blue Eye. So I was hearing a lot of great things about Blue Eye Samurai, and I'm like, oh well, Hexville. I guess I'll have to check it out. So earlier this week, I watched the first 2 episodes of. Maybe it was last week. I don't remember. It might have been on Sunday or something. Lindy says her hair doesn't look like that in the show, though. Yeah, those are production stills, and I have a feeling that they had like one doll per character. Like they didn't have multiple dolls. It's like so they got beat up and a little ratty by the end of the show. Anyway, Blue Eye Samurai. I watched the first 2 episodes last week, and I thought it was okay. Not bad, and I don't mean that in any derisive or demeaning way. I thought it was genuinely, solidly okay. It's okay show. I'm like, I don't even know if I'm that interested in watching episode 3. It's fine. It's perfectly serviceable. There's some neat stuff in it. It's okay. I'm not finding it that... Maybe my expectations were so high since people were comparing it to Arcane and calling it like the best show on Netflix right now. But like on Wednesday of this week, I was looking for a Christmas thing to watch, and nothing tickled my fancy. So I'm like, yeah, well, what the hell? I'll throw on episode 3 of Blue Eye Samurai. When Andor came out a year or two ago, the Star Wars show, a show that my sister and I do a top 3 most impactful movies or TV shows or things we watched of the year. Andor was one of them. Not just because it was a great show, but because I didn't really care for the first 3 episodes. Like, I flat out didn't even like the first. I thought it was kind of boring. And then you hit episode 4, and I was like, oh! And then it was just great from there. Blue Eye Samurai, something similar, because I watched episode 3, and then I watched episode 4 and episode 5 the same night. The difference being is, while I didn't care for the first few episodes of Andor, I didn't not care for the first couple episodes, first 2 episodes of Blue Eye Samurai. I just thought it was okay. But by episode 3, it starts putting the characters together in a... There's, as you might guess, if someone posed the question to you, hey, Blue Eye Samurai, do you think there are more characters in the show than just the Blue Eye Samurai? And you'd probably say, I didn't think about it, but yeah, there's probably more than just the title character in the show. And that, friends, is the case. There are more than just the title character in the show. So by episode 3, the various characters start mixing together and interacting in ways that I found particularly engaging and interesting. And more than okay. So I actually did finish out the show this week. I think I watched the last episodes last night. And, yeah, I'd say it's up there with Arcane and just being a genuinely very good show. For me, it took a couple episodes to really find its footing. But, yeah, I really enjoyed Blue Eye Samurai. I don't really care for the visual style. I think it's 3D, but I think they're going for kind of a painterly look because there's a lot of 2D background elements that sometimes, particularly when there are camera moves, really don't look very good. I find the aesthetic more along the lines of actual character design than actual environmental design to be just kind of bland, just uninteresting. Like Arcane, for example, has its own unique look and aesthetic, particularly in character design. They're interesting to look at. Blue Eye Samurai, not as much. I mean, it's not completely dull, but it's just not as interesting. Also, the animation is not great. It's not bad, but it's just kind of... it's fine. Obviously not the highest budgeted show ever. But, yeah, overall, I really dug it. I like... It's an interesting revenge quest, because... usually when a character embarks on a quest for revenge, it's to avenge something that someone did to them, right? So, you killed my father, prepare to die, kind of a thing, right? Or you stole my toy horse, and I just ain't letting that go, so I'm gonna kill you, right? Blue Eye Samurai, on the other hand, was, her revenge tale is not what someone did to her. this isn't a spoiler. This is the premise of the show. Um, her revenge quest is she's going to kill everyone who might be her father because she's pissed. How dare you be responsible for my existence? Which I I can't think of another revenge quest storyline that does it quite like that. She's so put off by having been brought into this world that she's going to she has no idea who her father is. But she's narrowed it down to like 4 dudes, and she's going to kill them all. It's got to be one of you guys. So that's a fun premise, and I like how the show leans into all the characters are flawed and wrong in certain ways. And the show is not shying away from the characters being wrong, which is nice, which is always a good idea because that allows for character growth, that allows for an arc, right? Blue Eye Samurai actually does have an arc and does grow over this season, but she got a ways to go yet. Yeah, I recommend Blue Eye Samurai if you find the first episode or 2 is just kind of, I mean, you know, if you sit there going like, it's okay. I mean, there's some cool sword fights and stuff, but I don't see what the big deal is. I'd say watch through episode 3 because that's where it started grabbing me. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, you see where it's going from the beginning, but when the characters actually start coming together and interacting in interesting ways, that's when it really started grabbing my attention. So that is Blue Eye Samurai, which is a fun title to say, and people are still making weird noises outside my home. So, tomorrow is Christmas Eve. I'm sure you all have better things to do, but I do not. So, I'm still going to do the Sunday stream tomorrow. But I'm considering not doing Trails to Azure tomorrow, just doing something else, or maybe playing a random grab bag of Steam games or something. Because I imagine you guys have other things to do tomorrow. So let me know, like, you know, hit me up on Twitter or something. If you want me to play Azure tomorrow, I can play Azure tomorrow. If it's like now, I'll be busy. Do something disposable because I have a life. But I will be doing something tomorrow for the Sunday stream, whether it's Azure or something else, and twill be fun. Twill? Can you contract it and will to twill? Well, I have. So I'm going to eat some dinner, and then I'm going to brush my teeth and floss and wash behind the ears like a good boy. And then we'll play some video games tomorrow, or I will, and you can spend time with friends and family or whatever you're doing. So, all right, that's it out of me. Have a great night, and maybe I'll see some of you tomorrow. Take care, all. Bye-bye.